Greetings, this is Kevin Jefferson with your weekly trade theory for what's today, Thursday, May 8th, 2025. This is the Bitcoin chart. And if you're alive today, you know that Bitcoin is up back over 100,000. And so we're going to go back and kind of zoom out to last week when I mentioned that there'd be a pullback point and potential entry and opportunity on Bitcoin. So that purple line right there represents the pullback point that I mentioned. I think price was up here, and so we had to kind of have the deep pullback. And so go down to the 4 hour chart and not even looking at any lower time frames because essentially this is enough. You had really two opportunities to get in long here, right around the 94,000 area, specifically 94,600.78. That was an area to get in long, and then there's been a lot of upward momentum on this. Now, obviously, there will be a pullback at some point, particularly when you see price going straight up. It has to come back down at some point. But right now, it's heavily moving, moving north pretty strong. So there was a buy opportunity. I think that was Monday of this week, or around the 5th of May was, I think, the day that it was the opportunity to get in, whatever Monday was of this week. So Bitcoin is still going really strong and long, bullish. Next thing we're going to look at is WTI crude oil. And this was a pullback point that price had, I mentioned before, and price come down here, and I said we'll probably pull back up into consolidation, and it's doing that. Looks like it's starting to trying to maybe potentially rise. So let me get off. This is the 4 hour. So I'm looking down at the lower time frame prices. It's like it's moving higher, and so I want to look at the daily movements and see what kind of that looks like. Let me zoom in here. And so, yeah, okay, so this is where I was on the daily chart. So price is still pulling back off of a downtrend. So we could have, I think I took some notes here. Let me see what I said about WTI crude. Did I say anything about it? I did not say anything about crude. So it's pulling back here. So, it could be preparing for a turnaround. Like I say, there's a deep move as you look at the the monthly chart, and you can see how deep the move was downward. So there would be, at some point a pullback, and I think I had that, that weekly pullback up here. So it could be going north. So let me go down to the 4 hour real quick, just give you a quick analysis of what I see, and based on what we've got here, at this pullback, and price is still kind of tracking higher. So as it breaks above this point here, right around the 59,432 area. If it closes there, we'll watch the pullback, and then you can say that it's actually bullish, completely bullish on the 4 hour chart. And so what that would look like on the daily would be a move and potentially an opportunity to chase price back up. And let me measure this range real quick. So this is how I kind of interpolate where price may move back to. I look at these deeper pullback ranges, and I'm going to click on, say, about, okay, 5.852. So I'm going to go here and measure here and say 5.852. 5.852 from that lowest point. Okay, keep it right about there. That's good. So about 62, or just shy of 62 dollars. So that would be a point that I would watch. So then, like I say, off of a pullback on the 4 hour, if price was, matter of fact, let me put that there so we can address that. All right, 62,005 and 62,005. Okay, and we're going to extend it, of course. All right, 62,005. Got it. 62.05. Boom. All right, so this line right here is where I'm going to watch for price to potentially move back up to. And so if price does start to continue long, as it looks like it's working its way back up here above this these pullback points, if price closes long and then we get a pullback off of there and an entry buy opportunity, then I'm looking at on the daily that first, well, you can see it here on the 4 hour as well. That purple line right there is kind of where my target is. Now, I would calculate that, so I actually could probably get a little bit higher, maybe the 63 area. But that'd be my first target, price target, based on price moving higher. And then at that point, I'd watch to see on if price is just stalling out here to continue lower, or if it's actually going to breach the next daily high of about 63,562, and then go from there. So that's how you do segment by segment. You analyze and take opportunities where they present until the market gives you new information. So crude is pulling back on the higher time frames, the daily and higher, and it's looking like it's turning long on the 4 hour and lower. So which means there may be some buy opportunities here in the coming days, and price should be rising. Okay, going to gold real quick. What we have on gold is, I'm going to get to the daily. Price has been moving clearly up, and so you want to wait for a pullback obviously to get in on this, and price is pulling back on the daily from the long max point. 3240.01 is a possible place where price will pull back. So I made this, it's already starting to pull back now, but 3240.01 is probably an area where price will stall out on the daily, and then maybe as low as on the weekly 3151.35. So 3151.35 on the weekly. So maybe it's back right down to this point. So right now I'd watch the first data point, like I say, 3240.01. Once price moves back down to here, look for a potential buy opportunity by going to the lower time frames and assessing price action. But then if it doesn't give you a buy signal, then expect price to move down as low as maybe 3151.35, which is just basically gold is taking some relief. People are probably taking profits, and then you can get back in at a better price point around the 3100 area. Okay. All right. So now we're going to get into the indices and get you on about your day. So looking at the Dow 30, the US 30 here, we have a possible, once at the weekly, let's say it's the weekly and the daily max pullback point is where it is right now off of the higher time frame. So if I'm looking at the weekly and the daily charts, price is pulling back off of those deep lows where it hit our profits. And so that means that price will probably give us an indication at some point that if it wants to continue lower or if it's going to actually reverse and start going higher again. So a possible max pullback point on the monthly is 37,222.75. 37,222.75. What's that on the monthly? Let me go there. Yeah, so it could get down there. But 45,1728 is the next target. So the downside target, first one would be in the 40,517.28, and then as low as 37,222.75 over the coming months is a possible downside target as well. So, but no, price could continue long as well. So don't get too wrapped around that. That's kind of a ways out. But we're just going to, let me pull back out to the daily and give you some insights. So price is pulling back, and so I would expect at some point price will kind of stall out and maybe give us another entry opportunity, and when that comes I'll discuss that. But moving on to the NASDAQ, monthly there's a max pullback from long or from the uptrend about 16,096.80. So 16,096.80 is a point to where price could pull back to. That's on the monthly chart. So let me go out to the monthly and kind of show you what that looks like. 16,096.80. So that would be way down here. I don't know if we get that low because I think the market is kind of starting to account for all that's happening right now with trade and everything. So it may not get there, but that is definitely a possible downside target. And then the daily point is 18,655.60. So 18,655.60. That's another place where price could pull back to in the near term, and then as low as 18,598.20 on the 4 hour. So we go down to the 4 hour and kind of show you. Let me zoom in here, make this a little bit bigger, and 18,598.20. So that's just a move back down to another consolidation area, which is definitely possible. So price is moving higher now. We don't have to worry about any of that until price starts to pull back anyway. And so we'll look at, once price starts to stall out again, we'll observe and see if we get some more buying opportunities in the next 3 or 4 days. It's Thursday now, so we're probably not looking at anything till maybe Monday or Tuesday at a minimum for the S&P 500, or this is the NASDAQ, excuse me, for the NASDAQ. But price is kind of pulling back and it's showing long, but it's not completely clear to say that the market is really bullish per se. It's just more of a pullback. All right, so the last one is the S&P 500. And on the monthly, there's a max pullback possibility of 48.43.42. So we'll go to the monthly, 48.43.42. which is right around here. So right around here, this last inflection point where price moved down to and broke through, and when it hit our take profit and kept going. That's on the monthly chart, and then on the weekly, 61.12.53. So if we go to the weekly, what this looks like is the price could actually get up as high as 61.12.53 off of this move. And then that might be where it starts stalling out, and then we can kind of see what price wants to do at that point. On the daily, price could go as low as 53.73.89. So going out to the daily chart, kind of get that visual there. 53.73.89. It's a possible pullback point here. So right around here where we had that large momentum candle here, and then price bounced off of it and then eventually broke through it. With all these broken little candles here. And then on the 4 hour, 53.45.11. So right around that same area, price could pull back, go to the 4 hour, and I'll show you what that looks like. It's at, 53.45.11. So still in this little area right around that pullback point that was already kind of measured out. That's an area of interest. Okay, could get down as low as here. So just be mindful of that. That there could be some pullback, deep pullbacks after price stops moving. But right now, the market's kind of on a run, so we'll just let it keep running. All right, until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day and happy trading.